guess the number one question, why was he traded? Obviously great AHL numbers. And so why?
Yep. Yeah. It's I think it's been an interesting road for all of the prospects, all of the players that were prior to the Mike Grier regime. And it started off like kind of slow. We got a few small trades of prospects that we had some hope for pretty quickly when Mike Grier came on. And then it started to just kind of snowball. Like guys that weren't progressing in a way that they were making impacts into the Sharks, they were gone pretty quickly. Now the entirety of the 2020 draft class is essentially gone, except for Timofey Svitserov on August 15th. Mm-hmm. So it's been I think it's an interesting study of what happens when you draft a very similar type of player over and over and over again in a draft.
And over again.
And over again. Looking at and how it can backfire. But that being said, Gushchin was, even back when I started doing like some of the prospect work, he was the prospect from that draft class that stuck out to me the most, even more than Bordeleau at the time. And there was a time when Bordeleau was high up as like 2 in the Sharks prospect pool of prospects behind like Ryan Merkley. So Gushchin was the guy that had just a little bit more to give, I think, at the NHL level, or theoretically in the NHL level. And we really were, by we, I mean me, we're really hoping that this was going to be the year.
Specifically, Keegan.
Me, and a lot of Sharks fans too, right? We've been hearing about Gushchin and Bordeleau forever. And I've been watching them. I've watched Gushchin, I counted like 5 different levels of hockey. And like, it's been a long time. And the problem is there's been some improvements in Gushchin's game, but not enough, and not in a way that is meaningful to make the NHL long term. So he's only 23. He still has time. He's going to a very, let's call it thin forward core in Colorado.
Especially on the wing.
Yeah, exactly. The Colorado just doesn't have a lot of NHL forwards right now. They just don't, especially guys with skill and guys that can play with, the big horses they have up front. So I'm interested in his future in Colorado. We'll see. Could be like a, week 1 of training camp, he goes sent to the AHL, and that's the last we hear of Danil Gushchin, or he makes it onto the team. So, but I think he was traded overall because there just wasn't enough progression. Guys skipped over him, guys like Colin Graff specifically, and he doesn't fit the, not the height requirement, but the size requirement that the Sharks are probably going to need for a couple of their wingers. Like they have Celebrini, Smith, and Eklund, who are all like 6 foot or under. And it's kind of hard to add in a 4th guy in your top 6 like that. And Eklund just had an extension. So I just don't think that they saw him really getting a spot above a lot of guys, especially with Misa coming, Chernyshov. Those guys are going to be monsters in the NHL. So
yeah,
that's my piece. I'm sad, but I understand it.
That was very, very objective of you, Keegan. I thought that when you came on here, you'd be sobbing. You'd be
going to flip the table.
Fuck this podcast. Fuck the Sharks.
This is why, this is it. I'm out. I'm becoming a Colorado fan.
Hey, good scouting report on you, though. Of all the other players, even when he was ranked lower, you're right. The return shows that you are accurate. I think also the return was higher than everyone else that was previously ranked higher than, like Bordeleau or Merkley.
That's fair. Yeah.
Right.
And
so
actually,
good on you as well.
A little bit of a callback to the guy that's on the show 5-6 years ago. Will Scouch was also a huge Gushchin fan. Talked about him as like a steal of a 3rd round pick. So, I mean, I don't think that's the real case. He's not really a steal of a 3rd round pick at all. He was interesting in a way that, like, if it all came together, if he developed a little bit more physical side to him, there's a lot there, like skill wise, and he can definitely score goals. So we'll see. He still has time if he decides to stick around and try and hop around leagues for a while, because it's hard to convince a coach to play you when you're that size. So
yeah, and you bring that up, that obviously with the Sharks that size thing does matter. It's not the determining factor as we see with William Eklund and Will Smith and guys like that, but it's something that is important to Mike Grier. And I just don't think the Sharks thought that Danil Gushchin has, if we're being frank, an NHL future, at least immediately, or they would have kept him. And the Sharks are not a good team. Obviously, there's no doubt about that. So they need all the help they can get. And they showed honestly what they thought of Gushchin. Doesn't mean that you can't do well in Colorado. Colorado is going to have the support of Nathan McKinnon, of Brock Nelson, of Cale Makar, some really great players, a couple of the best players in the world. And so that might be able to unlock and give Gushchin a little more of that time and space that he needs in the NHL. When Gushchin was up here with the Sharks last season, at the beginning of the season, Macklin Celebrini wasn't around. He was playing a lot, I think, with Alex Wenberg and sometimes on the bottom line. So those weren't places that were the most ideal for Danil to kind of show his stuff. And granted, he didn't really show his stuff. And part of it is on him, too. He's got to grab it himself, and he did not. But also, too, though, that he wasn't put in a optimal position to succeed.